Hey, welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates. Never force anything. And always know that the message goes to who needs to hear the message. I only say that because I do soul readings. I like to go a little bit deeper. So I do look at the surface, which is what your person feels about you, what they've done, what they may do. Again, because there's many different realities that play out at one time. However, I like to look at the spiritual blocks. I like to look at the karmic themes that play out within your situation. And the reason why is because a lot of times we're in a connection with someone that triggers the shit out of us. So the relationship goes on, it goes off, it goes on, and we really get thrown out of balance in these type of relationships. It means that we get stuck up in our head. They could even create anxiety. We know toxic relationships are all about that. Toxic relationships are relationships where there is a emotional bond, but it's not a healthy one. It's a bond of manipulation to get something, to dominate usually. So like I said, we like to look at the spiritual blocks so that you can break a karmic cycle. Because whether you're checking in today over a connection that you have today, you may not have that connection somewhere down the line, but I can guarantee if you don't heal the effects of your trauma, the same karmic lesson will play out in your new relationship. And the spirit knows this. That's why we get anxiety. That's why there's a need to be up in our head and we feel like we can't relax and be in the present moment. Everyone has been in an imbalanced relationship. The key is to know, to be able to listen to yourself. And we all see the red flags and the writing on the wall a lot of times way before we enter into that relationship. But there's a sense that it's going to be different or it's going to change because we have this deep spiritual connection. And understand that that's not true. A person will react the same way. You may not react the same way. But the only way to react to not get hurt is to raise your vibration. And usually then the person can't sustain themselves. They can't raise themselves up to your vibration long enough to maintain. And that you'll see that in a person that has commitment issues, they have addictions, they have low self-worth, and they tend to create their life through what things look like more than what they truly are. And so they gaslight. They won't let people get close. They have intimate issues. So we look at these type of issues because if you're in a relationship with someone like this, it wears away at your self-worth. And then you feel like you can't really be in a healthy relationship over time when you're being around this. So the key is to be able to raise your vibration high enough to be able to attract something that's more emotionally fulfilling into your life and attract the things that you desire into your life. That's why I like to do these readings. So without further ado, let's pick the card of the day. If you want to enter into winning a free shadow reading with me, know you have to be ready to hear what I'm going to tell you. Shadow readings aren't always happy. And you have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the day, which is the word of the video, in your comment bar. And the word is going to be the genius. The genius. I like this one. The genius. I've been pulling like the genius and exquisiteness and all these like high vibe words, because the genius is that God part of self, the spirit part of self, the deity part of self, the part of self that is the supernatural part of self. It transcends time and space. It allows you to become a master when you start as a disaster. It's wherever you put your time, your energy, your focus, and your money towards, it grows. So I'm feeling Scorpio, that you are finding your process. You are in your creative genius. You are walking on your path. I don't really feel like you're in a connection with anyone. You might have someone that you're attracted to. You know, you may have a connection, but you are not in a relationship, is what I'm trying to say right now. So all the energy, all the love is going to you. And why do I feel this is triggering the shit out of somebody? Because you have no longer given your energy to this person. You have actually raised your vibration, which is probably why I channeled everything that I channeled in the beginning of this reading. So let's see. Let's look at some wounds. Let's look at some shadows. Let's start there. It helps you take things not personally when you see that people have spiritual blocks and their blocks create triggers, and that there's things that you do unconsciously that are triggering this person. So it actually plays out as a karmic theme, and you might be like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just over here working on myself, which is what the energy is that I'm feeling. But again, if a person has a big ego, they're used to people that are like treating them almost like they're a superstar when they're really not. And what's happening is they're seeing that you're a superstar, you know? Yeah, neglect and self-neglect. This person like isn't doing what they need to do. And here you're doing what you need to do. So this person is like, you need to be like over here, which is exactly what I felt. This person doesn't know how to be by themselves. They always need to have people in their life, but those people can never be on the same level as them, is what I feel. And so they have a connection to you, but it's triggering them. And that's what I felt. I felt like they have a lot of feeling, a lot of emotion for you, but they're not ready to rise up. So being that they're not ready to rise up, let's see how this is playing out, because like I said, things usually, unfortunately, have to get worse before they get better. I mean, that's how people come to a dark night of the soul. They don't just get there. Okay, let's see. Boiling point. So this person, like I said, is about to explode. It's again, and then when they run into you, they're gonna play dumb. Like they don't know that they haven't been around you. They don't know. So your person expected you to run after them. You're in separation with somebody that you do have a spiritual connection to, but they really thought that you were going to chase after them. And the thing is, they play dumb because they never want to change. They're toxic. And so you're not feeding into them. So they're getting really triggered because they're having to look at themselves, which they weren't ready to do. And so this is why they're getting triggered. No chance. You refuse to change. Yeah, see, it's again, no change. No change. Like and that's why it's like they know what they have to do. And it's almost like, I know that that's what you want me to do, so I won't do it. Like this is how they have wounds, and it's almost like they've been in so many bad relationships that their way of being in a relationship is to have full control. This person, I feel like there was always a connection and they just never fed it. They never fed it. They acted toxic. They acted toxic. Too intense. And of course, like the emotional connection between you and them and the spiritual connection is really intense. Because it's a soul connection. So they can't turn it on. They can't turn it off. They have no control over it, and they have no control over you, because as I said, they're used to having people fawn all over them, and you're not. You put your energy into yourself. And that's what happens when a person has a lot of trauma around relationships. They have a lot of wounds, and so it's not like they're not going to have any soulmates. They are actually a spiritual being down here to evolve into higher states of consciousness, the way that everyone else is. So if you happen to be connected to this person and you are on a different vibration, it's mainly so that they can see what being on a higher vibration would require. And that is triggering to them because they're like, I'm comfortable and I normally get what I want, and you're not doing what I want. And because you're not doing what I want, well, I'm not going to do what you want because I'm not going to be subservient to you. It's almost like this person hasn't evolved since they were like 14 or 13. That's what it feels like. So whenever that first relationship was that kind of backfired, they never healed. That's what it feels like. But there is this unconditional love. There is this bond. That's why they're so frustrated. They're like, wait a minute, I have to think about what do I have to do. And then the more that they're thinking, they're like, the more that they're getting angry. Because their little game wasn't supposed to backfire. Please be patient with me. It's almost like now I feel like the energy is, starting to change. And if it hasn't begin to change or starting to change, then it's going to start to change really, really soon, like within the next few days, where they're starting to get a little softer. And that's what happens when it's a soul relationship, because it's a divine relationship where spirit is bringing this person into your life to teach you what unconditional love is. And in this case, I feel like Scorpio has brought you into this person's life because you're just over here doing your thing. It's not like you didn't have a connection with this person. You had to have. You just didn't fall for whatever garbage that they were trying to hand you. You put the energy into yourself. I am so sorry. And that's the thing. We have soul connections to teach us, to help us heal, to help us evolve. But before we can evolve, we have to surrender our ego. And I feel like, again, your person's boiling point where they have to get to a point where they can't handle it anymore. That there's been so much time that has transpired and they still have these feelings for you. If anything, the feelings have gotten stronger because they've observed you, they've watched you from afar to the point that they actually believe that they're like in like a relationship. This is what I feel like. They've wanted to, be in your life on some level, but they didn't want to have to do the work. They didn't want to seem vulnerable. They didn't want to seem weak. This person, like I said, they were not taught properly. So they're sorry. And then this is the end of their crappy ways. It's like they realize that they cannot continue to go on the way that they were going, acting the same way that they've been acting. And that's what healing really is. That it's not like they're not afraid of commitment. They are afraid of commitment. And that's because of a lacking that's within inside of them. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do. So we know there were, and there was also at one point, I feel like there was always other people interfering in their relationship. There was always, they always had people, like I said, in their life, but not people that they had such a deep connection to. So in the past, there's always been someone interfering and that has been closer. This person can feel this deep bond that you have with them, and it terrifies them because it's real. And they also know that they have to do something in order to keep this connection. So there's also like fighting it, and we're fighting it, and didn't want to give in and had a big ego because of all their bad past relationships. Meanwhile, their past relationships they made bad because they never gave. They made the person do everything. And here it is, you and this person are not together. They're watching you from afar. They're falling in love with you from afar because you're, again, in this glorious energy of the creative genius of just creating stuff for yourself, and you look good and you're happy and you're evolved in what's going on in the world, and you have an opinion about it, you're not afraid to express it. It's exquisite. It really is like a different energy to this person. It gives this person energy. And so from the separation, and they were able to see the difference between all these people that treat them almost like a fan club, like they're like like they must own a business, or be someone important within the community. So people tend to like look up to them and talk to them in a certain way, and you're not doing that. And they like you, so they want you to do that, which is why they didn't give you any energy. And so most of the people they dealt with gave them more when they would give them nothing. You didn't do that. And so their little plan kind of like backfired. I did a reading similar to this the other day, but what this shows now is that this person is like at their boiling point. They were ready to keep it on for a bit, and now, like I said, they're like almost like, I don't even know why I'm mad anymore. I miss this person. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I in separation from this person? Why am I watching them from afar? This is where they are right now. And it's like, or if they're not there today, within the next few days, they will be there. And that's what happens when it's a soul relationship, because it's a divine relationship. We're learning unconditional love, meaning you can get mad. We're going to get triggered. That's what happened with this person. They got triggered. They wanted to treat you the way that they treat everybody else, and it didn't work. That's what happened there, Scorpio. And now they're like, I really like this person. And in order to get them back, I have to surrender my ego. I have to put an end to my toxic ways. I have to put a toxic to being afraid of any type of commitment. I have to put an end to neglecting myself, that I have to give myself love and stop playing dumb. And I have to stop and be able to do things a lot differently, not play dumb, and care about you and show that I care about you, instead of almost like this person got very triggered. And the more that they got triggered, the less that they gave you, is what I feel like. And they expected you to chase them and run after them and be sorry and try and work it out. And this person thought that they were going to walk away and not really feel anything. And what happened is the reverse happened. Don't be tempted to disconnect from source. Our connection to source is the love and healing we require for reunion. So again, your person, like I said, had to surrender their ego. They had to surrender their ego and really come to a place of unconditional love. And what we see here is the afraid of commitment and the self-neglect are both signs of someone that doesn't love themselves, that doesn't care enough about themselves. So it really has nothing to do with you. This person wanted you to give them the love. You gave yourself the love. So you showed this person something. You taught this person something, because they have, again, they're always connected to somebody, like I said, because they can't be by themselves, but they don't give love to that person. They just make like those people do for them. But then those people interfere and don't really want your person to go, because they benefit, because then your person feels guilty and has to give them something, whether it's money, whether it's help, just being there. So really your person was taught by you. And we have to say, I mean, what would you learn from from this. Now, you might have had to learn forgiveness. You might have to learn compassion. You might have to learn boundaries. What we are experiencing is a part of large collective clearing. Don't feel alone because others are healing too. So for healing, you too. And so I would say it was to learn about forgiveness, compassion, if you want to be with this person. Now, just because you want to be with this person doesn't mean that it would be the easiest type of relationship either. Because what this is saying is that this person is like about to change, and they're going to come to you, but they wouldn't still know how to treat you any differently. You are in charge of teaching this person how you want to be treated. When they surrender their ego and say they're sorry, right? This is what we see. I am so sorry. They come back because they say, this is the end of my toxic ways. Please be patient with me. I'm a little afraid of commitment. Well, then what you know is that when you didn't give this person that much time, they came to you. When you gave this person their freedom to be able to figure out their own process, they came to you. Now, these soul relationships are not easy relationships because you don't think the same way. You don't handle life the same way. So understand, we need to look at your triggers, Scorpio, because this person's coming into your life, and what Spirit is saying is, oh, it's for clearing. It's for clearing. Don't disconnect. You know, you'll be tempted to disconnect because it's very triggering. You won't want to do it, and this person won't again, but this is for their healing. See, don't be tempted to disconnect from source. And our source is unconditional love, and this person you have unconditional love for, and what they realize is that they have unconditional love for you too. They wouldn't commit before. They wouldn't sit still long enough until you disconnected from them. Now you got this person's attention, where I don't think that you did before. So we have to say, well, what's the point? Why are they in your life? Because it's like, well, that's a hard relationship. I got to be with them. No, what Spirit's saying is you got to find your balance. You have to find your balance, because it's not an all or nothing. Just like you don't hate this person and you have unconditional love for them. However, they have spiritual blocks, and something that you need to integrate to help balance out the relationship will also help balance out other areas in your life. That's why. Okay, so let's take a peek and look what that is. Play. Have more play, meaning, okay, this person represents passion. Again, there's an unconditional love. There is a lot of chemistry. And so this actually represents like the play and the passion part of our life, right? So Spirit says you have to have other passions in your life, not just this person. If you give too much to this person and you don't have other things that keep your mind entertained, that will help connect you on an emotional level, that fulfill you emotionally, you will give too much to this person. This person loves the fact that you're able to entertain yourself, that they don't need to come in and entertain and do. There was a part of them as I started this reading that I felt that they created their life through, the superficial things and having people do for them, but people do for them in order for them to get stuff. They're pretty empty people themselves, because like goes to like. You're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. This person wouldn't find you exquisite if you weren't. They're finding you exquisite because, again, there is a sense of play already. What Spirit is saying is, don't lose that. Because that's how you create balance. And what it is this person needs to clear shame. And I also feel like at one time you needed to clear shame. And shame could come from just not feeling good about yourself, from having bad relationships. This person, I feel for them and for you, it could be maybe not having enough money, maybe not coming from, but you're nevertheless, shame is a root chakra imbalance, and it comes from connection to the physical body. It's like when we're in the now, when we're in the moment, we act from the divine instead of that ego self. The ego part of self is that survival part of mind. We have to go into the higher mind and to transcend shame. And we can do that when we're in a space of unconditional love. Having this person in your life, they're going to help you. It's a soul's relationship. I'm feeling with business. I'm feeling with work. I feel like this person has that. I don't feel like they have good relationships. And so you're going to help them with relationships because you allowed them to have their process, because you separated. Instead of making this person stay in your life, what you did was you showed them to have a life. This is how you have a life. And what they saw is you don't need them, and that you look great doing what you're doing, and your life looks fun, and no one compares. So I'm going to leave that there because that's pretty much self-explanatory. So we know in order for you to stay balanced within this relationship, you have to, again, continue to be the creator of your life, right? The creative genius of your life. And that's how this reading started. The creative genius is someone that has ideas and they act on their ideas, right? I mean, that's how we manifest. It takes a mustard seed of effort. God makes that multiply. We're just putting our effort towards what it is that we love. And when we put our energy towards it, we manifest. I feel like this person's great with business and structurizing of it. But as far as passion, they don't have many passions in their life. So you're to show them what it is like to have passion in life. Yes, you represent that also for them, but the way that you live, you are setting the example. You're their muse. Okay, and then I know I said that was the end, but I always like to also say, well, if you do wind up with this person, what other energy can you both bring in to the situation to make it better? Like, or what else is it supposed to teach us? We need to ask. And it's release. I stop fighting my fears and the hardships of life. I control my thoughts, live in the present moment, and accept each stage of life. I work on what I have power over and put in God's hands what I cannot change. I trust that everything will work out the best. So you are again releasing, again, said it again, releasing these spiritual blocks that you have, that they have. Shame is the common denominator. I believe that you broke that karmic cycle when you, again, put your energy into creating yourself. Your person, when they come back and they say that they're sorry and they put effort in, and releases that as well, because they get to see that relationships can heal. Like they don't always need to end in a dumpster fire, that we can redeem ourselves and we can balance out the relationship. And with your forgiveness and with your compassion, which is those two spiritual lessons that I do believe that you need to learn. And that's why Spirit says, well, you're down there in physical form to learn and to manifest. You're learning that you're not separate from me, which is unconditional love. And you have spiritual blocks in those areas where it may be hard for you to forgive because people really hurt you in the past. So it's a protective mechanism. So this person's coming into your life and there is such a deep bond that, and you can't help who you fall in love with. And so, like I said, you find your process in learning how to have compassion and how to be able to forgive. When this person learns their process and how to be in a committed relationship and how to allow, how to be able to become themselves without losing themselves, or by doing for someone that they're with. All right, Scorpio, I'm going to leave that there and I'll talk to you soon. And if you want to enter into winning a free reading, don't forget to write the genius in your comment bar. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye bye.